Boy, good morning and welcome. And like they say, good things come to those who wait, but better things come to those who got out and got them.
Yes, so
Hey,
it kind of all comes down to, well, you ignore the noise, ignore all the doubters, the haters, block out all the negative self-talks.
exactly.
Yeah, because a lot of people talk themselves down. They're not even waiting for somebody else to tell them that they're not doing good. They're telling it to themselves. Please stop it.
It's called a defeatist attitude. First off, just make sure that you are ready for the job. No pressure, however. The sum of some small efforts repeatedly, day in, day out, will do the magic. All you need to do is to be consistent. Good morning and welcome to a fresh edition here for Wake Up Nigeria.
Thanks for joining us. This is your favorite family breakfast show, and it's Wednesday, meaning that we will also be having the lovely ladies with us. MM is looking all glorious already.
Good morning, MM. How you doing, girl? What did she say, Miss Shuri? It's all good. Loving what you're looking like, by the way. It looks grand. Nice.
Hopefully we're bringing that little extra sparkle to your day on this Feel Good Breakfast show. Hey.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. Now, okay, so for the next hour and 45 minutes should be memorable because we have planned so all the way since last week, and right now we're executing. My name, of course, you know already, is Mazino Appeal.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. You can watch this show on GOTV channel 27 and UHF channel 49. You can also watch us online with our app. The TBC app is available for download for Android and iOS.
Yes, indeed. Now, we are at TVC Connect on all our social media platforms, so feel free to go on there and make a comment. Remember, however, to use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC when you make those comments, because that's how we track you guys, and we always love to read from you guys.
Coming up, we have nutrition. We're going to be joined by Senior Food Systems and Nutrition Specialist Victor Ajero. Now, he's going to be looking at nutrition and the Sustainable Development Goals. How would a focus on nutrition help Nigeria progress? Then, of course, we'll be looking at relationships. We have certified relationship and marriage coach Oluwatobi Aremo. Now, he is going to be talking about third parties in a relationship. Are they necessary or not?
And finally, joining us on the couch for an interesting conversation, we have Faith Afiemo, fabulously known as Faye Diamond. Now, she's a singer and one of the top 6 finalists of the just concluded Nigerian Idol Season 7. Well, I can't wait to have that conversation with her.
All right.
Welcome.
Wednesday already. Goodness me. March is flying by.
Yes. 2023 is flying.
So what are we waiting for? When are we going to hang out next? Guys, we have to plan.
Is there Naira in the system?
We have to, at least let's just try and get back to normal.
We talked about this yesterday while you weren't around.
Really?
The fact is that the reason why nothing is happening is because there's no Naira. Not that there's no cash. Not that there's no Naira.
I
Not that
beg
you
to
don't have
differ,
any money.
though. Influence is a very
O'Shea
solid
influencer.
dollar
Wow.
currency, in my opinion.
So you just tell them
What? Influence is a
influence,
better
currency.
Really? Just walk in anywhere and say, my name is Winfrey.
And then they'll just give you the...
Oh, yeah.
That's why I said
But it happens.
influence.
It happens.
You people should not allow me to insult you this morning.
No, break it down. Let us help us to understand what
Exactly.
you're talking about.
Influence, when people have influence, there's a limit to things you can actually ask for that you don't actually need cash to actually pay for.
Okay, I think she's talking
if
about
you apply
social
it.
capital. Social capital. So, like,
Okay, so
for
I think
instance,
she's talking about who you know.
yeah.
You can tell the next. You can tell the next person.
You walk into Supercell and say, oh, don't you know me? I was once MBG in tourism 2017.
Yes.
Can you please give me a kind of milk over there?
Yeah, well.
After all, there's a cash
Oh, yeah,
crunch.
I've done
Whatever
that
you
before,
call
by the
it.
way.
You've done it before?
Yes, I have.
Whatever
and
you
it
call
has
it.
worked severally.
Whatever you call it, it
But
works.
if you don't understand it, it's
works.
fine.
It works.
I've
We
done it a
worked.
few times
We
myself,
worked.
so-
We work in different. You know.
No, no, we work together.
We
let-
operate
shift-
now.
shift, all of us
Shifts. Shifts.
Well,
We don't work together. Shifts.
But really, though, there is something about the situation in the country that has made people a little bit more sincere and trustworthy of each other. Now, the fact that, yeah, you've made the transfer and fine, they've not seen the alerts, but man, you just have to trust that
Yeah.
this Nigerian brother
That's exactly
or sister
That's
just
exactly what we
gonna-
talked
So
about
yeah, we
yesterday.
talked about that yesterday.
We talked about the fact that it's a welcome thing because it's showing that we're growing more empathy for each other.
Yeah, but where the
Yeah.
problem might be or is honesty. It plays a role. So.
Or influence.
Influence.
Wow.
We're back here again. In any case, whoever you are, wherever you might be, whatever your skin complexion or facial scar, you are my brother and I know you, so that's some influence that I should be able to credit on, isn't it? And you're welcome. My name is Mazino Appeal. Let's do the news for Wake Up Nigeria. Now, it's exactly 3 days after the governorship and House of Assembly elections, and President Muhammadu Buhari appears to be satisfied with the conduct of the poll. The president earlier yesterday said Nigeria has proved to be capable of deciding who leads them without anyone telling them what to do. President Buhari commended the remarkable passion toward democracy exhibited by Nigerians through the choices they made in the Presidential National Assembly, governorship, and State House of Assembly elections. The president was speaking at a farewell meeting with the outgoing United States Ambassador, Mary Beth Leonard, at the State House in Abuja. Now, the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Ogun State, Ladi Adebutu, earlier yesterday staged a protest with members of his party to INEC office in Abeokuta. He said the reason for the move was to seek redress on how the commission handled the governorship election results in the state. He alleged irregularities and compromise, noting that the party has submitted letters to the commission on its position on the outcome of the exercise. But in a swift reaction to the news of the protest and alleged rigging, the publicity secretary of the All Progressive Congress in Ogun State, Tunde Oladunjoye, says it was a case of hunter being hunted, and those pointing accusing fingers are actually the promoters of things that violate the electoral law.
Is that the measures by which other states have been treated and they are allowed to have runoffs. Ogun State should be measured in the same vein. Adamawa has runoffs. Similarly, Kebbi has runoffs. Why is Ogun State being denied runoffs? We are not particular about whatever interest is guiding this. We are only asking for our rights.
As a party, we are reviewing what happened that we lost those assembly seats. What happened that a party that was not campaigning, a party whose candidate was abusing the Obas, how come that party even had that figure it had?
Outside Nigeria now, the Israeli government has okayed an amendment that would allow Israelis to resettle 4 legal settlements in the northern occupied West Bank that were evacuated in 2005. The second and third readings of the legislation were passed late on Monday night in the Knesset with a majority of 31 votes in support and 18 who voted against. While the government has passed the amendment, the Israeli military must still issue a military order allowing Israelis to resettle in their areas. In August 2005, the disagreement plan implemented by then Prime Minister Ariel Sharon saw Israel remove more than 9,000 settlers in 21 illegal settlements located in the besieged Gaza Strip and the northern West Bank. The new far-right Israeli government, sworn in at the end of the last year, has blown full steam ahead with the legislation to legalize 9 outposts and expand existing settlements. While all Israeli settlements are considered illegal under international law, Homish is also considered legal under Israeli law, as the Supreme Court ruled that the land belongs to private Palestinian owners from the nearby village of Burqa. And that's it for the news and sports this morning. Starting off things here for Wake Up Nigeria. Do stay tuned. We've got more coming your way for the next hour and plenty.
Hello and welcome back. It's time for us to take a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the newspapers this morning. And today's date is Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023. We start with the Punch this morning. It says here, protests rock Ogun, Abia, Nasarawa over poll results. Pages 2, 21 and 31 have more information on that particular story. Adebutu, Kano APC candidate asked INEC to declare elections inconclusive. LP groups want Abia, Enugu, logjam resolved. Oshun or your tribunals get 34 petitions. And I didn't interfere in polls. Results reflected Nigerians' choices, says Buhari. It also says here at the bottom left, economists fault MPC over 18% lending rate. Ogun ex-permanent secretary, wife found dead in Lagos home. Federal government loses suit to recover 70 trillion naira loot. That's what we have on the cover of The Punch. We also have with us the Daily Trust newspaper. It says here, defeated candidates reject results in Kano, Lagos, Bauchi, Delta, and others. Urge supporters to remain calm, head for courts. Protests rock Ogun, Nasarawa, and Abia. Politicians must be ready to prove their cases, say the lawyers. Soldiers shoot Okada man, kills nursing mother, baby over 200 naira. Tinubu Atiku clash over comment on healing after polls. CBN's MPC raises interest rate to 18%. And bottom left here, it says, I'm eager to leave Aso Rock, says Buhari. Woman sets son, grandchildren, daughter-in-law ablaze in Ondo. Outage looms as TCN set to disconnect 13 defaulting discos and gencos. And 4 hurdles Zamfara governor-elect scaled to unseat Matawale. Governor imposes dusk to dawn curfew. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Trust newspaper. We have the Nation newspaper with us as well. It says here, President-elect election is over. It's time for healing. Tinubu decries ethnic politics and violence. It also says here, no cash in banks despite CBN's 1 trillion naira in circulation claim. Anxiety over results persists in Enugu, Abia, Adamawa, and Kebbi. Declare me winner or cancel election, Obi urges tribunal. LP files 3 grounds petition. Digital economy operators exempted from 5% excise duty. And Wike tackles Amechi for linking INEC chair to him. That's what we have on the cover of The Nation.
What happened? Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, everyone is just standing by for
I didn't know we were
Mazino
on.
to be done.
I didn't know we were on, actually. I'm so sorry. I'm not done. Yeah, but in any case, welcome. It's time for What's Up and About. And what was that thing I was supposed to talk about? It's supposed to be a very interesting topic.
The golden one is distracting you that much.
No, not that much. Not that
You're
much.
that hungry?
But listen, okay, so The Honest Bunch is a podcast everybody seems to be seeing now. Very interesting, Nedu and co. Great job you guys are doing out there, because there's some certain very interesting topics that come out that people actually want to share their opinion on. Now, one very interesting one happened only just this weekend, and it was Mona Lisa. I can't remember her last name, but she's an actress.
She's an actress.
Nigerian Hollywood actress.
No.
And Nedu queried her about something that she posted earlier when Teni gushed over how beautiful she looks now that she's lost weight and the fact that she feels like she's not going to die anytime soon. Mona Lisa at the time made posts where she grieved about the fact that you can't say things like that. What do you expect other people who are plus size to feel like? And, you know, and I'm wondering, now, if somebody comes out to tell that I'm making advancements in my weight loss journey and I'm happy about it, should it be at the detriment of everybody else who seems to be plus size? Or, you know, I don't know how to handle this, because on one hand, you're supposed to be happy that, you know, this person is doing well with, you know, your journey. And then on the other hand, people are like, I think we're taking this, calm down, people, you know.
It's freedom of speech.
Exactly.
So I've always just felt, look, if you have a challenge with what someone puts on their page, just unfollow, right? Now, some people feel comfortable, feel like themselves in a particular weight. Some people feel like themselves slim. Some people feel like themselves larger. In the end, it is still something that is extremely personal. Now, she doesn't want to lose weight because she's comfortable in her skin.
Exactly.
Now, the issue is how maybe Tenny's supporters
people
or
were telling her
other
that,
people around.
can't you see what Tenny's doing? Can't you do the same? You know, kind of like...
Okay.
So I think it got to her. You know, but if you're comfortable and you say you are, you don't need to further put up posts to say, oh, I'm angry at you for saying so and so. I think you should express that view. That, hey, I'm comfortable, I'm okay. Boom, and that does it. Instead of express anger. I don't know.
Social media has just turned to something else. I honestly just think if you're comfortable in your own skin, it shouldn't really affect you that much if someone else calls you out on it. Maybe
Unless it really does.
is actually affecting you in some kind of way. Maybe you've tried in the past. Nobody's faulting you for trying and not succeeding yet. But if you feel some kind of way about it, then do something about it. That's genuinely how I feel. That's
After
true.
you.
What?
Why are you looking at me?
You don't think nothing?
After you, baby.
Okay, so first off, I actually there's nothing wrong with you being fat, slim, anorexic. Okay, anorexic is actually a condition, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I'm in that space where I think that as role models, as influencers, that people look up to, we are in the position to preach and teach about body positivity.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of young people, a lot of young ladies especially, who are losing their self-esteem even further because of their lack of, appreciating themselves, right? And then we're in an era also where you have so many estheticians that could actually, put your body into that perfect Kardashian figure that, you desire. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. If you can afford it, why not? But there should be no pressure for people. People shouldn't put people under pressure to lose their weight or to conform to a certain standard, beauty standard, body standard.
But is Tenny doing that? She's not doing that now. She's not pressuring anybody. She's just posting about how...
Yeah, no, so it's not
We're
about
not talking about
it's
Tenny
about
now.
Mona Lisa.
Exactly. The focus is not on Tenny now. Tenny is just enjoying herself.
And you know something,
right?
This is what I think. I'm all for body positivity until... I think body positivity is a way of saying that, forget about health, just be okay with what you look like. But the fact is that if you do that, if you're thinking body positivity without considering the fact that you're also perhaps maybe you have an ailment, maybe it's psychological, maybe it's physical.
Is it every
You can't be pushing body positivity. Listen, you can't be pushing body positivity and then you're going into obesity.
Obesity. Pin.
So I'm
It's
all
a
for body
pin.
positivity, but
On what Mazino
are
is
you
saying.
harming yourself while
Put
you're
a
preaching
pin
body
on what he's
positivity?
saying.
No.
Will it cause you something in the future?
If you know that your obesity has, of course there are certain health conditions that come with it, then do what you should to correct it.
So they don't do
fix
it because they preach body
Right.
positivity. I'm okay. So they won't do anything and they just let it go. Is
Yeah,
my
but then
point.
there are some people, there's some fat people who really do not have health conditions.
True that.
Exactly. So are you going to say, okay, every fat person must have a health condition? No. There are some fat people who are very, very strict with their health, with their
however-
diet, with their eating.
You, however, stand a bigger possibility of having certain ailments because of your size. So if that is taken note of, you perhaps maybe will say, okay, maybe I need to adjust certain habits because
Why are you being
at the
quiet,
risk
though?
of
Because you're part
because she's perfect. Look at her size.
Get out. So anyways, okay, so this is what I actually wanted to say, right? We're in an era where everyone has opinion about what everybody is doing. We had, Tenny lose weight. Yeah, despite the fact that she put out word that she was happy about her size now, people still trashed her for literally losing so much weight, telling her she looks sick.
Some
the
people
same
say
thing
it's
happened
unhealthy.
to the foreign singer,
there's a lady, Adele.
They dragged her. Do you understand? I love the fact that we're in an era where there are big people who are influencers and pushing for body positivity. There are slim people who are also pushing for that. But at the same time, what matters most is your health. And then someone comes to say, I feel more alive that I've lost weight. And say, if you want to feel more alive, go and feel more alive. Don't be attacking somebody for feeling more alive.
She didn't attack anybody, actually.
I'm just saying. But
People shouldn't attack her actually for feeling more.
Like, you feel more alive. Do whatever makes you feel more alive and all of that. So don't sit down there and say, oh yeah, I'm this, I'm that, and all of that when you're dying inside.
But the most important, love your body, baby. Fat, slim, whatever.
But work on it if you have problem. Check your BMI today.
Salary. So please.
Check your BMI.
Very important, because there are also a lot of slim people whose BMI are out.
Exactly,
Anyways, yeah.
exactly.
So let us hear your thoughts,
Exactly.
people, on all our social media platforms at TVC Connect. Let's hear your comments on what we have just discussed. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Well, good morning once again and welcome. It's time for our very first guest today on the show. And today we're starting with nutrition, and we are joined by Senior Food Systems and Nutrition Specialist, Victor Ajero. Now today we will be looking at nutrition and the SDGs. How would a focus on nutrition help Nigeria make progress in achieving the SDGs by 2030? Now, Mr. Ajero, you are welcome. First off, let's start by defining what SDGs are in our grand system of things and why they're important.
Yeah, thank you. So the nations of the world came together to agree on what we call the Sustainable Development Goals. It follows what we had initially called the Millennium Development Goals. There were 8 of them. And at the inspiration of the Millennium Development Goals, then they agreed on about 17 Sustainable Development Goals. It's a kind of international framework for cooperation among nations, and agreeing that these are important development goals or milestones that nations need to achieve. And then when they achieve that, it shows progress in a lot of dimensions. So you have things around reducing or ending extreme poverty. You have things around ending hunger, achieving food security and nutrition, and sustainable agriculture. You have things around gender equality. You have things around quality education. So you have it around sanitation and clean water. You have things around, improving health and well-being of the vulnerable people. So it's about 17. It has partnership, it has industry, infrastructure, and innovation. It has things around climate action. So and then there are measures of how are nations progressing. And so, but our talk today is that if you use nutrition as the centerpiece of development, it can accelerate progress across all of the MDGs.
How so exactly? Because I'm looking for that relationship.
Yeah, okay, fine. Let's even take a few of them. The first one is about eradicating poverty. What's the role of nutrition in eradicating poverty? You have the short-term impact and the longer-term impact. Now, when people are productive, energetic, and well-fed, and nourished, and they're not anemic, they can produce more.
Exactly.
There was somebody that said, I cannot produce because I am weak. I am weak because I am hungry. Yeah, and if you look at that hunger, it looks like maybe the absence of food, but they also look at the micronutrient deficiencies. It look at suppressed immunity and overall reduction in productivity. So, but when you have good nutrition and people have daily meals guaranteed, and they can work effectively, they are more productive, they produce results, and then it can lead to reduction in poverty.
So what should be the government's effort in this instance that you've just given? How does the government play in to reducing hunger, creating a better workforce, a stronger workforce, and then producing more generally? Where do they start from?
Yeah, you can start across the sectors. Number one, food has to be available. Food in the right quantity, sufficient. So you look at the agricultural system and making sure that food is available. You look at our markets and making markets work for the poor. Yeah, so that issues around pricing, availability, and seasonality are all effectively addressed. You also want to reduce post-harvest losses so that more families have year-round access to adequate food. Now, when this happens, that can impact on productivity, that can also reduce poverty on the long run. But we have also talked in some of this series how if children are not stunted, they are 33 times likely to escape poverty in the future because they will learn more.
Education, huh?
Education is quite important. The completion rate, the learning outcomes, And then the earning, you know, well-nourished people can earn more, about 50 times more. But also it all connects to what we talk about maternal nutrition, because you want to make sure that children don't come into life disadvantaged. And then so when the mother is in a good nutritional status, the outcome of pregnancy becomes great,
So
and that leads to...
it's all interwoven, it's all connected. This is
Very
connected to
interwoven.
that connected.
Yes.
So what it now presents to you is a chicken and egg situation where which comes first? What does the government do first? What do you attend to first? So in a grand scheme, let's say starting from ground zero, you have to wonder exactly what do we tackle first? Do we make foods available, or do we make policies agreeable? Do we engage the people with better education? What exactly would you suggest, as an expert, should be tackled head-on first?
You want to look at it across the life course and the very critical basic necessities, yeah. But the first thing, nutrients come from food, so food has to be available. That's quite important. And so making sure that...
Well, manpower, you need manpower to get that food out, is my point.
Yes, so you know, that's why...
Chicken and the egg.
So the systems, yeah, so that's why it has to be simultaneous across sectors. And the nice thing is that every sector has what it needs to do to advance nutrition. So the health sector has what it needs to do. And there are innovations that are quite important. For instance, if you want to reduce maternal mortality and infant mortality, there are very great innovations like what we call the multiple micronutrient supplements for mothers. Okay. And so if you start from that life course approach, like it starts from the mother, what does the mother need? And then the child comes, what does the child needs? And in that way, you address the different needs and all that. Then, for instance, I told about the multiple micronutrient supplements for mothers, moving from iron, folate that women are used to multiple micronutrient supplements that can reduce low birth weight, stillbirth, and maternal mortality. And then for the child, you have what we call the small quantity lipid-based nutrient supplement that can ensure that, you know, anemia reduces by over 60%. And then stunting is also reduced. These are some innovations
Mr.
that
Jerry,
can
I
help
think
drive
you've
that.
Nailed it there, where you've put a focus on exactly where I believe that we should start. The first thing should be, what does mother need? I think from then on, everything else can fall into place, especially that a government can address these issues from that standpoint. What does the mother need? Healthy babies, you need a good mother, a healthy mother for healthy babies so that they're not stunted. Education for the babies, and also other policies will also. That's quite a way to look at it. Like I say, it's always a full course when you're here. It always, you know, kind of like really intrigues the mind, the details that you give us here on the show each time you come on. But thank you very much for coming on today's one. As usual, again, looking forward to seeing you next week, I'm hoping.
I think there's the last one.
Oh, dear no. We're glad to have had you since.
All right.
Thank you very much for joining us in for this segment, Nutrition. Let's find out what would be nurtured with, what nutrients with that, let's just go to the kitchen and find out what great food we're going to be having today.
Welcome to the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen. Yes, so now our own Wake Up Nigeria standard development goal is to make sure that we have a standard meal in the kitchen. And when we need that, who best to provide it for us than Chef Shebotima? Welcome. Welcome. It's great to see you. Great to see you. Have we seen this here? I think we have. Yes, we have. Okay, yes. You were bringing kuli kuli to other people in the office. It's fine. It's fine. You didn't bring my own. It's fine. It's okay. She makes the best kuli kuli. And Baba Dudu as well. All right, don't let my dentist hear you. But Chef Shebotima, what are we making today?
Something good. Fried rice.
Fried rice.
And chicken.
And chicken.
Something good.
Standard African Nigerian meal. But
that Africa is what I'm going to show you today.
Oh.
Just taste some.
All right, all right, all right. Now I can see you've done a lot of prepping already. This is our chicken. What type of chicken was it?
Chicken.
Soft chicken or soft chicken?
Soft chicken.
So what's happened to this chicken so far?
I just boiled and fried.
So was it like all these deep fry, you know, this?
No, just
the shallow fry. Yeah, okay.
fair.
All right. So did you spice it beforehand? What
yes,
did you
I do all those things because I know there won't be enough time for it to be done. So
all right.
Ready
Okay.
To eat.
Ready to eat. Don't tell Mazino, please. We have some other vegetables here as well.
Sausage,
Mm-hmm.
onions,
Yeah.
bell pepper, the green one.
Okay.
Green pea,
Okay.
carrot, and green onion.
Green
This is
onion.
the stock
Of the chicken.
of the chicken.
All right. So we're ready to get started. All right, Chef Shebotimo is in the building, and we're making a special Shebotimo fried rice. So this is what we've done so far. Maybe we should actually show them the ingredients one more time. Of
Yes.
course,
Our rice is cooking already.
very clean looking, long grain
Rice.
rice. White rice, of
White
course.
rice.
Let's open up the pot so that they can see what's going on.
It's
Leave it,
cooking.
leave it open, leave it open, leave it open.
Okay.
So what was it we did beforehand?
We put our granite oil,
Okay.
then our onions, then the rice, the stock,
Of the
chicken.
the chicken stock.
then
Okay.
cooking. So later on, after it's been cooked, we now put our green pepper,
Okay.
onions,
Okay.
sausage, carrot, and the green peas.
Okay, so you didn't mention water at all. Did you add water as well?
Yes, I do.
You did.
Because it's the normal, that's why I didn't mention.
I know, I know.
Can't cook rice without water.
Are you sure? Some people do it too. We've seen it here on Wake Up Nigeria.
They didn't put water.
They didn't put water. It was the chicken stock that was enough. But if
It's
your
water.
Well, true. You have a point. You have a point. It is water. It's meat water.
Okay.
All right.
There's water.
Did you fry the onions down, or you just added the onions? That's all. You didn't fry them down.
I didn't fry it down, but no, I just had to add it to the oil to give it a kind of flavor.
Okay.
So that's what I do.
All right. So you didn't parboil the rice before adding it at all.
I
You
did
just
not,
Straight up.
straight off,
All right. It's looking
because we still have time.
There's time, definitely, especially if you haven't prepped all your vegetables. So here, once again, we have carrots, we have green peppers, green onions, and peas.
Pea.
So you said something about adding this later. How much later before we add all this?
When it's about to get ready.
When it's almost done.
Yes, yes.
All right. I guess that's how we're going to get that crunchy Chef Shebotimo taste. Honestly, it's actually...
You're hungry already.
It's a standard development goal for my belly.
Okay, now.
Make sure
Let's
you
go
don't go
there.
anywhere too far. Wake Up Nigeria continues
Yeah.
after this. Hello, good morning. Now, we know how to make your morning beautiful. Yes, we do. Perhaps that's why we've been given the license to help you begin each day.
Yes, indeed. The license to thrill. Ta-na, ta-na,
Yeah, I saw that coming a mile away.
I'm sorry, guys.
Can you stop the music so that he can stop dancing?
The last hour looks like it's a perfect one, a perfect start to your day, the completion to whatever it is we began an hour ago. Welcome for the next 45 minutes. Here it's going to be fantastic.
Welcome to the second hour on our special Wednesday edition of Wake Up Nigeria. Yeah, wake up, do not sleep. Well, you know that's a song, right?
Wake up,
Yeah,
collect your money.
I can't do it. I can't. I'm supposed to sing it right now, but I can't. It just.
It's a beautiful song. I love Kids Daniels for always putting out music the entire family can sing. That's what I'll say. How's it going inside the kitchen, MM? What's happening in there?
Rotimo, as always, she always brings it.
Yeah.
Rice is cooking right now. Open it up now. Let's see what's happening. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
Looking really good. I'm sure the vegetables are going to go in really, really soon, yeah?
Yeah, very soon.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Fantastic.
Things are coming
We
pretty
can't
nice.
wait to eat it. The chef, Shebotimo. So hey,
Yeah.
she's reserving mine perfectly, separately.
If I hear.
And that's why she's keeping it so I can have it later.
On a diet.
Yes, for later.
How much later?
When you're on a diet, you don't eat rice. You eat vegetables.
Can we not be academic about this? Half portions are also kind of like, allowed. I mean,
We'll have this conversation another time.
later.
My name is Titilayo Onyison.
My name is Mazino Uphill. You can see the show live on Channel 27 on GOTV and also Band 49. That's our UHF band.
You can also watch us live on the go with the TVC app. Download it for both Android and iOS for on-the-go access.
Yeah, we're at TVC Connect on all our social media platforms, so feel free to follow us and make sure that you use the hashtag while you're sending in comments.
Yeah.
Wake Up Nigeria on TVC is the hashtag to use.
Shortly, Afropop sensation. We'll always have music on the show, so we're going to be having music in a second. But hey, we also have our relationship conversation coming up very, very soon. Marriage coach Oluwatobi Aremo is going to be here. And today we're talking about third parties in the relationship. Is it necessary or not?
Finally joining us on the sofa for an interesting conversation, we will be having Faith Afiemo, fabulously known as a Faye Diamond. Now, she is a singer and also... Yeah, we'll give you guys a full concert there.
Yeah, imagine if you really, really took your singing career very, very seriously.
No.
You'd be a star now like Davido.
Wow. Well, hey, maybe. But I didn't think I could put as much energy into it as I wanted to. I think I was actually lazy because I saw the amount of time and energy that was needed to be in the studio overnight, night after night. On top song, we never even blew. I beg. I couldn't handle it. The pressure was just a bit too much.
Speaking of Davido, by the way, he is back on social media. Did you guys know? Did you guys see?
Yeah.
Congratulations and welcome back. A whole lot of people missed you. I did. I'm a Davido fan.
Oh, you are?
Yes, I am. Actually.
Okay.
Davido over Whiskey.
What's your favorite song?
It has to be the one with the South African lady. What's it called again? I'm your friend or something like.
Oh,
I got a friend.
Yeah.
I got a friend.
My husband believes that Damiduro is his best song yet.
Like the pinnacle.
Am I Damiduro?
I think that was the one that actually that had a major impact in his music career. Actually, so yeah,
I think that was
really young back then.
That's
He was
What was
really
that one
young
with
back
the dance?
Skelewu.
Wow.
So for me, that would be the pinnacle. Skelewu would actually be because that was the one song that.
Which one came out first?
No,
it was
Damiduro came out. But I think that was
first.
when
It was
started
Damiduro.
That was
becoming
his
on his,
trajectory.
that was
Yeah.
his.
Skelewu was not just a
Skelewu just
song.
helped like.
It was also a movement. It also had a dance. It also had a hashtag.
It was a movie. Yeah, it was a movement.
So it was real. It was
actually.
bigger than
Damiduro
Damiduro.
had
in
it.
that
If
respect.
TikTok was out
Exactly,
then,
it would have been
boomed.
bigger.
Yeah.
It would have been even bigger.
It would have
But congratulations to him and his family.
Yes.
Seeing him back on social media is actually quite an encouragement because a lot of people were wondering what's happening in mental health and everything.
Yeah,
with the pressures of society after losing a son and all. So
Especially when he deleted his posts, like
Yes, exactly.
a whole lot of his posts on social media, I think about a week ago. So a lot of people were actually really worried. And people started dragging him because they were like, okay, Davido, you said March now, you said March. Do you
Match
understand?
is
But
going.
literally, what's up?
March
Yeah.
31st, he says his album is coming out.
And we've been warned, don't drop anything on that day.
Yeah, anybody else, yeah?
You're on your own. Yes, now.
But then again, people
Shan't
should
sell.
please not lose their sense of humanity and empathy.
Yeah.
Consider people's feelings, please.
For sure.
And you're welcome. It's time for the news again here for our second hour on a Wednesday. My name is Mazino Appeal. Now, it's exactly 3 days after the governorship and House of Assembly elections and the President, Muhammadu Buhari, appeared to be satisfied with the conduct of the polls. Now, the president earlier yesterday said Nigerians have proved to be capable of deciding who leads them without anyone telling them what to do. President Buhari commended the remarkable passion towards democracy exhibited by Nigerians through the choices they made in the Presidential National Assembly governorship and State House of Assembly elections. The president was speaking at a farewell meeting with the outgoing United States Ambassador Mary Beth Leonard at the State House in Abuja. Now, the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Ogun State, Ladi Adebutu, earlier yesterday staged a protest with members of his party to INEC office in Abeokuta. He said the reason for the move was to seek redress on how the commission handled the governorship elections result in the state. He alleged irregularities and compromise, noting that the party has submitted letters to the commission on its possible, or rather its position on the outcome of the exercise. But in a swift reaction to the news of the protest and alleged rigging, the publicity secretary of the All Progressives Congress in Ogun State, Tunde Olatunjoye, said it was a case of hunter being hunted, as those pointing accusing fingers are actually the promoters of things that violate the electoral law.
Our contention is that the measures by which other states have been treated and they are allowed to have runoffs, Ogun State should be measured in the same vein. Adamawa has runoffs. Similarly, Kebbi has runoffs. Why is Ogun State being denied runoffs? We are not particular about whatever interest is guiding this. We are only asking for our rights.
As a party, we are reviewing what happened that we lost those assembly seats. What happened that a party that was not campaigning, a party whose candidate was abusing the Obas, how come that party even had that figure it had?
Outside Nigeria now, the Israeli government has okayed an amendment that would allow Israelis to resettle 4 illegal settlements in the northern occupied West Bank that were evacuated in 2005. The second and third readings of the legislation were passed late on Monday night in the Knesset region with a majority of 31 votes in support and 18 who voted against. While the government has passed the amendments, the Israeli military must still issue a military order allowing Israelis to resettle in these areas. In August 2005, the disagreement plan implemented by then Prime Minister Ariel Sharon saw Israel move, or rather remove, more than 9,000 settlers in 21 illegal settlements located in the besieged Gaza Strip and the northern West Bank. The new far-right Israeli government, sworn in at the end of last year, has blown full steam ahead with legislation to legalize 9 outposts and expand existing settlements. While all Israeli settlements are considered illegal under international law, Homesh is also considered illegal under Israeli law, as the Supreme Court ruled that the land belonged to private Palestinian owners from the nearby village of Barak. And that's it for the news second hour here, Wednesday edition. Wake Up Nigeria. Stay tuned. We've got more coming your way.
And we are back. Thanks for staying with us. It's time for our relationship discussion. And today with us, we have certified relationship and marriage coach Oluwatobi Aremo. Today, we'll be talking about third parties in a relationship. Is it necessary or not? Is it necessary? You are welcome to the
Thank
show.
you for having me.
Oh, I can imagine a lot of people gleaning, you know, in right now, like, oh my God, I really need to, you know, be a part of this conversation. You really need to listen to this conversation. Okay, now let's get right into it. Yeah, I believe that there are, first off, let's establish what third parties are.
Okay.
And then the roles that they play, because there are different third parties. There's in-law third party. There's an affair third party. There are counselors third parties. There are friends third parties. So there are different roles. So tell us who a third party is, and then the different roles that they play.
Okay. So a third party is someone or something, but we'll just keep it to someone, a person now.
Okay.
A person that has the capacity to influence the decision-making in a relationship or marriage. A person that has the capacity to influence how you make decisions, the quality of decisions you make in your relationship or in your marriage. And like you said, this could be your friend, this could be your in-law, this could be a counselor, this could be a religious leader, this could be, so it's different levels. Now, so the question of is it necessary or not does not have a fixed answer, except you look at who is the third party. Okay?
Now, maybe I should add, before you get to is it necessary or not, why are they important? Because they have to be important for them to be necessary. Why are they important?
Okay, so as I'm saying now, for example, in-law, for example, you married into a family and the in-law were there. They've always been there. Now, you're not going to delete them because they've always been there. However, the in-law as a third party in a marriage or relationship is not necessary. In the sense that, I think I've seen something online where there was a tweet about a man arguing with his wife about what his mother said, what his mother said that was going to stand. Now, such situations are wrong. They are things that destroy homes. So in that case, your in-law, you're going to talk about third party being necessary. Your in-law is not one of the third parties that should be necessary in your marriage. Your friend is not even one of the third parties that should be necessary in your marriage. Why? When you talk about in-laws and friends, they have the capacity to be biased. So rather than think about the health of your relationship or marriage, they are thinking about you only. Okay? So that's one part. Of course, there are now those that could be jealous and have beef for you or something. But there's no usually there's no constructive feedback from these people because they are biased in their ways. So a necessary, so the third party is like when you're playing card, when you have joker, it's like it helps with your play, even though you may never use it, but knowing that you have that joker helps with your play. So that is actually the role of the third party. So this third party that is necessary is just usually, what are they for? For basically guardians. Sometimes some couples would have been able to scale through certain situations if they just had the right person to speak with. I've had the opportunity of speaking with some people that I look at two of them, those in relationship, I know that they're going to work. We talk about it, we give a few pointers to use, but they decide to break up. Some that came and they feel they want to end it, and a few pointers, and they are thriving. So in the end, even the role of third party is not to impose. It's still the job of the couples to decide
on what they want
to take. So the third party is basically to offer guidance, but in the selection, the third party that is necessary must be someone that the couples decide together that this is the person that want to have a voice over a relationship. So the husband can think that Mr. A is who I want. The wife thinks that Mr. B is who I want. It's best they don't use Mr. A or Mr. B.
Use someone
that both of you say, okay, let's do Mr. Z. And Mr. Z is the people both of us have agreed. So anything Mr. Z says binds us. We don't say because he likes you, because he likes me. We are binding by what Mr. Z says.
Now let's, streamline it to who these third parties are that we need, that are important for our relationship. Who are these third parties that are important for our relationships to thrive?
Okay. I'll say counselors. Okay. In particular. Okay. Mentors. Some you can call them mentors, you can call them counselors. Why? Because it's just like how you do business, and then maybe there's a financial mentor, somebody that has had an experience before and can guide you. Because really, when you look at marriages, relationships, the issues that are currently we're having are issues that people have had, no matter the spectrum of time, as it were. Okay, so having the privilege of foresight can help save relationships and marriages. So that is the role of the counselor. That is the role of the counselor or the mentor, depending on what name people want to have it. Okay. Now, sometimes people say that, but come on, my mother knows me, or my daddy knows me.
And they've been married for maybe donkey years.
Exactly, and their marriage is good, it's beautiful, and I know that my daddy has my best interest at heart. That is good, okay? But that is just you. You're talking about your husband, your fiancé or something. Okay, so it's always best that even if your parents are having the greatest relationship in life, because the issue is when you go to them about an issue, because that's really there. If everything is rosy, you don't exactly need a counselor. Well, not exactly, because there's something called marriage enrichment to make your marriage better and all that. But generally speaking, you don't need a third party or say there's an issue. Now, when you talk about this, it was to a family friend, a family member, a friend. By the time you, the boyfriend, girlfriend, fiancé, husband, wife, have moved on and forgotten, they still remember. Okay, so then you're at a meeting, a party, and then they are looking at your spouse with the eye of, now you do my babe dirty like this.
Kind of thing,
do you get?
right?
But you get to have moved on. But the lingering...
because they're still human.
Yes, they're still human. But if it's somebody that does not have that kind of attachment...
Like a professional.
Yes, that kind of bias, you are sure that whatever you've come to tell them, because they are particular about your relationship.
Yes.
When they see you are working, they're happy. The issue doesn't have to come up again.
But then there are people who may not be able to afford to see marriage therapists, right? What would you suggest, or what would you advise that they do or that they seek consult with? Okay,
so usually one way, another people that I think that works is religious leader. Now, this is dicey.
Exactly.
Actually. Okay, dicey as per sometimes some advice, counsels are given based on the experience of that leader rather than what is applicable to your own marriage. Okay, so one of the things you can use to check, when you check through your life, who has been consistently involved in ensuring the both of you work? Okay, who has been particular about how your relationship work, your marriage work? Who can tell you the truth, even if you are the one at fault? That can be someone that you can speak with. Sometimes people also want to use social media advice. maybe somebody asks a question, then somebody puts up a random answer. It's very delicate when you use random answers on social media to apply to your life.
Marriage.
It can mess up different things. So that is really not a good thing to do.
Mr. Aramo, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure having you here. I'm so glad that you were able to, explain in detail what and who a third party is and what role and, those that we could, that are necessary for our relationships to thrive. Thank you so much for doing this with us. And if you have any questions, well, you can reach us on all our social media platforms at TVC Connect. Mr. Aramo, of course, will be there waiting to attend to them as well.
Welcome. Final segment here to Sofa, and we have an interesting conversation up ahead. We have with us Faith Afemo. She's known fabulously as Faye Diamond. She's in the building with us.
And she actually was the one that just delivered that very, very interesting performance. Actually, nice.
That was beautiful and subtle and such a beautiful voice. Hearing it live is very different. Hearing on TV is one thing. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But hearing it live is so different. It's so sweet and calming and relaxing.
So now tell us about the song.
Yeah.
Love Story is it's a song that talks about love and how people fall deeply in love. So it just talks about the whole essence of loving. When you love, you truly fall, you fall deep.
So was that from a personal experience?
Yeah, it was.
So are you in love now?
Yes, I am.
That was for somebody.
In love with Jesus.
In love with Jesus too.
Oh, why did you go and spoil it? Let's talk about your experience for Nigerian Idol. You were in last year's edition, and you were up until the
Top six.
Top six. I was going to say 7, but thanks for top 6. I wanted to know, if you were to tell anybody about that experience, in the grand scheme of things, how would you say that has managed or will manage to shape you ongoing? What was it like, first of all, and what effect is it going to have in your life, your career, for after?
Okay, it was a beautiful experience, and I feel like it didn't really feel like a competition at some point. I think the only times when I remembered I was in a competition was maybe when I came on live to sing and perform, but during the sessions where we have rehearsals and all that, I think I sometimes forget that I'm in a competition because of the contestants. They were amazing people, and they didn't really make it about the competition, so we bonded more. And I think that experience just helped me understand more that in the music industry going forward, I think if we can focus more on relationships, it'll help.
Right.
Because a lot of times in the music industry, it's just competition that everybody has in their head, like competition. But I feel like making more relationships, they help.
Okay, has anyone told you have really great dentition?
Oh, that was my line.
Not really.
Okay, not really. You actually
It's
do.
beautiful,
Yeah. Okay, so now, going through that process definitely did something to you, right? And then when it makes you think of what the Nigerian music industry is now, especially for female artists, what would you say your projection is for yourself first? And then what would you say your strategy will be to literally overcome certain challenges that you may face as a female artist?
Okay, so the truth is I've come to understand that the music industry is not really fair on females. I feel like there's like a mindset they have that females might not really do well for long because of the whole they feel like there's a timeline to us being in the industry.
Thinking.
So most times I just like to think of it as, okay, this is something I love to do, and I would not just focus on what I would, because most times we all think of, okay, how do we get signed? How do we get this? But I'm trying not to look at all those things and just do my thing, because at the end I'll feel fulfilled if I can do what exactly I want, rather than doing something to make sure people would come for me or something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't know what you think about what I'm about to say, but it goes off of your question, which you asked about female Nigerian musicians not really getting or seemingly have.
The truth is, we should actually make timeless music. It's something I think a lot of artists have at the back of their mind, but the truth is, the reality is you have to do something people would love to get. You have to understand.
That's commercial. Music.
Yeah, you have to understand the music market.
Yes.
Because the business part of it, if you keep putting, except you have maybe funds somewhere that you can really push yourself. But if you're looking to get people to buy what you are selling, you sometimes have to bend and do what they would like for the time being. And maybe when you get up there, and you can.
Well, that's one strategy.
Yeah, so I mean, what you said, I mean, doing your thing and being satisfied and fulfilled in your journey, I mean, I think that's key. Timeless music is also something very important. However, my mind is going towards the fact that it's not everyone that's even out there right now on the foreign scene as a female musician that actually puts out timeless stuff.
Yeah.
We have Rihanna, we have Beyonce. Their music also fades with time. Do you understand? However, what they happen to, I think what they've successfully done is to be able to transcend...
Franchising.
Yeah, besides franchising, to be able to transcend different levels their lives actually present. As women, the truth is, what I feel is you cannot deny the fact that you're a woman. You cannot deny that you actually will get into family life. And family life is tasking.
Yeah.
But then again, your ability to push yourself beyond all of that. So now, what would be your take on that? Because most times what happens is that people
what she's saying is that when you get married,
Yeah,
would your
thank
music
you,
change?
just
Will you born Peking? Would your music not change? Or would you just keep it trendy?
Or do you want to do music and their family?
Yeah, do you want to segment it?
Yeah.
For me, I would like to segment it.
Okay.
I'd like to do music and then family. And of course, music would not totally go away when family comes, but it would not be as much as when there was no family because, I have more time. And
May not be as much as...
Let's talk about what you got planned for the future. So what we just
Yes.
listened to, Love Song, was, is it part of something that is going to be on an album, or are you releasing another one after this?
on the long run, it's going to be on the album, but for the next thing I'll be dropping another single.
Okay, great. So when you talk about your music now, who do you want to reach out to?
Yeah.
Who I want to...
Yeah, who do you want your music to reach out to? What is the message you're pushing?
It's just for me. I feel it's like a feel-good song. It's a song you listen to and then you remember or reminisce on the feelings you've had for someone or you currently have for someone. Yeah.
Travel music. That's
The
what I
lover
call it.
girl.
Yeah, exactly. Music that just takes you away while you're on the road.
Yeah.
That's my kind of music. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Thank you.
Album might be coming when though? 2023.
No pressure, Miss Nina. No
I know,
pressure.
but it's so. I mean,
No, but it's soon, like in a year time.
Good. Now,
1 year. Yeah.
leading off of that, piggybacking on that, when you shouting no prejudice, is there a timeline to when most people that we've seen who have come off of these reality shows, these big reality shows, music reality shows, is there a timeline for anybody? Should there be one? Do you have one? Do you think that after a certain amount of time, you've lost the opportunity, or are you using the opportunity now? It's a big one.
Okay. So
Yeah,
I don't.
I know, but
I've never thought that there's a timeline to anything.
because the heat is on now.
Yes.
You're relevant now. Everything.
I know the heat is on and it's good to take charge of it, but even still, if you're unable to get it right at the moment, I feel like there's still liberty to do at whatever point you find yourself in life, you just keep doing. I've seen people that started, I think a lot of people started music really late, like maybe 28. Some didn't even get to go to reality shows, and they still push through. So
Were you a singer from before you went on the show?
Not really. I was just in the choir.
You were in the choir, so you had a regular life, an office desk type job. and
It was
everything.
just school, and then my business. I was into fashion.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay.
Into fashion.
All right. So we have time for one more question.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so now what I wanted to ask was, what would you say the impact of this kind of shows do to people, individuals? Because, I mean, yeah, you were literally, I mean, not fully into music, but now, I mean, going through that training for the period of time has put you on the parts of a musical journey, right? So what would you say would be the impacts, or what impact would you say this kind of shows have to people?
Okay, I feel like the impact, the first impact is when you stay around like minds, you tend to get inspired. So even if you weren't going to take something that seriously, when you see your peers doing something that you kind of have something for, you would get inspired to do more. So I feel like it inspires people to push themselves further than they would have even planned to before. And also, it gives you a voice because it's different when you can sing and you're just in your room and just your church, a small circle. But when you get up stage,
When you're going to exhibit
yes,
it.
so people can hear you and someone can say, okay, so there's someone that can do this. Why don't I call this person for this? So it gives room for opportunities, yeah.
Your platform.
Well, Faye, we're looking forward to everything that you've got in store for us. I think you've got a great voice and great personality to go with it. We just can't wait. Are you on a diet?
No.
Grand. That means we're inviting you over to the kitchen
Yeah.
soon to have some of our sumptuous meals.
Okay.
Let's do one of your material, and then by the time we get back, we'll be inside the kitchen with
right.
Faye.
I can not describe this feeling burning inside you. Be me like tsunami, cause it past my power. I've been on this road before, but I can't remember this kind desire. It don't call up in me fine.
Ah, lovely.
Wow, Jinx. We're back in the kitchen, about to wrap up, but we couldn't wrap up without seeing this masterpiece a la Chef
Oh yeah, serve it now. I mean, serve it. You do it from inside the pot.
Why? From the pot. What?
You served it like this.
No.
Wow.
All right, so please have a taste and tell us what you think.
Okay.
This is Chef Shebutimo's special fried
It
rice.
looks sumptuous already.
It looks good, yeah?
Yeah.
What makes
Honestly.
it different?
Oh,
What makes it
wow.
different? Not.
What do you think?
So good.
Oh.
Well done.
What, you're
well
confused?
done.
It's so good because I feel like it's been a while since I tasted fried rice like this.
Oh,
Like this.
okay. Chef Timo, I've done yourself, didn't you?
Mazino is happy. I told you we're on a diet.
Now I'm having the conventional die what?
All
right.
It's been a great Wednesday
Yes,
morning.
it has. It has.
We're going to be back again tomorrow morning from 7 a.m., y'all.
Mwah. Have a great day, people. Bye-bye.